Some of the hardest parts for students is this quadratic equation, this quadratic formula that we use to find the zeros of a parabola. Okay, the parabola is normally in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, and a person named Potion-Low, he's a doctor as far as I did some research. He's a doctor, and he figured out or found a millennial-old solution that doesn't require the quadratic formula. So if you remember quadratic formula, x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And if you want to know how this thing works, and it really is fascinating, go ahead and take a look at this website here. And I don't make a claim to have figured this out or found it. I'm just making a claim to make it quick and simple. So worked on this for a little while. Let's take a quadratic equation. 3x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, for this to work, just like when we complete the square, we have to make sure that that a coefficient, in this case 3, is equal to 1. So we have to divide the entire equation by 3. So we divide 3 into that 3x squared, also into the negative x, into the negative 4, and divide 0 by 3, which leaves us with 0. So the equation that we wind up with finally is x squared minus 1/3 x minus 4/3 equals 0. Fantastic. Nice and pretty. My a coefficient there in front of the x squared is definitely 1. Let's move that up and let's go ahead and concentrate on the b now. This is the exciting part. We're going to take that and we're going to move that off to the side. And all we're going to do is change the sign from negative to positive, and we're going to divide 1/3 by 2. If you're dealing with fractions, you know that if you multiply the denominator by 2, it's as if you divided it by 2. So you wind up with positive 1/6. All you're going to add is your positive and negative signs. And then we're going to go ahead and square 1/6. And we're going to put that under the root sign. So 1/6 squared is 1 over 36. It now belongs under the root sign. And we're going to concentrate now on the c term. All you have to do is switch the sign and either add it or subtract it to the radical. In this case, it was negative 4/3. We're going to turn it into positive 4/3. So we're essentially adding 1 over 36 plus 4/3. And what I found is through the thousands of students I've had, believe it or not, adding and subtracting fractions are really, really difficult. So if you have a problem with that, I suggest you drill on that for a long, long time. Okay? So essentially, our positive 4/3, when we go ahead and set our denominators equal to each other, which is required for adding and or subtracting, we come out with 48/36. Go ahead and say that 4 times fast. 36ths. Yeah, it's neat. Okay, so let's add those terms together, and we wind up with 49 over 36. Now, we know that 7 times 7 is equal to 49, and 6 times 6 is equal to 36, so we can dispense with the radical sign, and we are left with 7/6. Well, this is really neat too, because you'll notice that the 6 and the 6 in the denominators, well, we already have our denominators the same. So now our solution becomes 1 plus or minus 7 equals 6, which gives us our x terms, either 4/3 or negative 1. Okay? And if we go ahead and plug those back into the solution, our solutions were found, and rather quickly so. All right, so we're going to go ahead and give it a quad erat demonstrandum and a big applause. Okay, let's recap. Step 1, make sure A is 1. Step 2, take the b term and change the sign. Your third step is to divide the b term in half. Fourth step, add your plus or minus and then the radical sign. Step 5, square the b term, place it under the radical sign. Step 6, take the c term and change the sign. Step 7, place that c term under the radical sign. And then finally simplify and you're done. 8 steps, but it goes really fast. I can get this done in about 15 seconds now. I've beat everyone who has even dared to do the quadratic formula against me. Enjoy. And if you like the video, you know what? Like, subscribe, share it with your friends.